What's going on? What's going on? One Chains Gaming back here with another video. It is finally that time of the year. We have got a dev blog. We are about, what are we? A little over a month, about 5-6 weeks away from officially getting back into a new 2K cycle. 2K did end up dropping a blog today, so we are going to go over the blog that we got. And then we are also going to go over, I'm literally just going to scroll through Mike Wang's tweets because we get about a 2-week period of Mike Wang listing off all the stuff he knows about the game. And since he works primarily on Next Gen, he's obviously one of the guys to really keep an eye on and have notifications on, especially around this time of year. Also with this, I'm going to try and keep this more my team central since that's more of what the channel is. However, I probably will ramble into some Pro-Am stuff. Just because I do play a little bit of both. So, we're going to start with the blog. Unfortunately, I can't green screen it behind me because I don't have it set up on my computer. So, you guys are going to have to deal with my annoying face. Alright, so let's see here. 2K23, we're going into gameplay enhancements. They start with offensive gameplay because apparently last year defense was a point of emphasis. Obviously, you guys know by the AIs that we had and the issues we had with that. That was a true thing. And they're talking about how smaller guards had a slew of advantages over taller counterparts. I beg to differ because they were all the same speed. But that's whatever. Outside shooting reigned supreme in online matches. It's been that way for 4 years now. That's nothing new. So apparently we are getting an upgraded Pro Stick. So the most obvious upgrade in the addition of the new Jester combos to the Pro Stick. Internally, we refer to the mechanics as double throws. So flicking your Pro Stick in a direction, letting it go back to the center, and then quickly moving the stick back in the same direction. And switchbacks, which is flicking the stick, letting it come back and go in the opposite direction. Sounds fucking stupid already. So for dunking, the metered skill dunks returns. So meter dunking, if you're on Next Gen, you guys already know, that is coming back, unfortunately. I think it was pretty buggy because A, it didn't work half the time. You got random like park animations when you didn't want to, or just the timing of it didn't seem right. You would release it really early, but it would say late. Just different things like that was really kind of hit or miss with it. So apparently they're fixing that so you can guarantee what dunk you get. So when driving to the basket with the sprint trigger held, the new Pro Stick control mat for dunks is as follows. So if you want to do a two-hand, you go up. Strong hand, not right hand, keep that in mind, is your right to the right stick. Weak hand is going to be left. Down is going to be rim hang. Up is flashy two-hander. Down, up is flashy one-hander. Up, down is normal skill dunk with meter. Down, down is a rim hang skill dunk with meter. Let me see if I have my controller here. I do. Okay. So what they're talking about, right? You guys are looking at your controller. Okay. This is your right stick. So if you go this, it's going to be a two-hand dunk. If you go to your right, this is going to be your dominant hand. So if you're playing with a left-handed player, it's still going to go to their left hand, not their right hand. As stupid as that sounds. If you go left, it's going to be weak hand. So again, if it's a left-handed player, it's going to be their right hand. Down is your rim hang, so like your big man, the stupid scratchback dunks that suck, it's going to be those. So up and then up again is flashy two-hand. Down, up is flashy one-hand. Up, down is normal skill dunk with meter. So I'm assuming you have to go up, let it reset, down, hold until you get the timing. And then down, let it reset. Down again is going to be your rim hang skill dunk with meter. So personally, what I would do to avoid that, I would just do the normal up, right, left, down. Because those don't sound like they have meters. If I'm understanding this correctly, I don't know, maybe if that's just a current gen thing they're talking about. But at least from the ones that they label with a meter, it doesn't seem that the basic ones have any sort of meter. So apparently, they've also added where if you're holding your trigger right because you're dunking, the longer you hold it on the rim hang ones, you can actually hang on the rim, and then you can move your sticks to be moving around the rim, right? So I don't know who's going to do that unless you're a troll trying to troll somebody in a tournament or something, and you're up a bunch, and you want to just hang up there and get a tech for the fun of it. Other than that, I don't really see too much. It looks like it is only a new gen feature, so next gen only. Personally, I think it's really, really stupid. I think it's a waste of their time. But hey, 2K really likes to add cosmetic things. And they even put a paragraph in here about, while it might be fun in the park, you can get techs in NBA games. So I don't know if that's offline exclusive. So as far as like only in micro games or like your offline domination games, or if that is the tech will still process, like if you're in the park or if you're on unlimited, stuff like that. Right, okay? Finesse your way to the rack. There's been a lot of slasher talk. Getting a little nervous between this and the trailer I saw. Getting kind of some 2K18 vibes. Keep that in mind. For slashers who want to finish with a little more finesse, double throw gestures are used for hop step layups, while switchback gestures are used for Euro steps or cradle layups. Okay, so how I'm understanding this is if you want a hop step, you're going to have to do boom, wait, boom, and hold again without holding your trigger, and then I'll give you the Euro step layup, and then if you're wanting, or no, that one would be Euro step. The one I showed would be a hop step, and then you go, wait, go back for a Euro step. Obviously, you have to hold the second input in order to get that Euro step or cradle layup. Not anything good there. They do show that they are adding in Devin Booker's scoop layup. Like I was seeing some other people say, that looks like from the animation I saw, it looks like it's about a 20% contest. So if those kind of layups are going in, that's already a problem, step one. Another thing that I saw of note, for bigger, stronger players, you will also experience a lot of new contact layup content that properly shows what should happen when players like Giannis plow through everyone in their path. I want to emphasize that again. When players like Giannis plow through everyone in their path. If you guys watched the trailer we got on, what was that, Monday? Maybe yesterday? Giannis did kind of like a little shove animation before he went up for the layup. If that's a thing, it's 2K18 all over again. I'll let you guys know that right now. Hopefully they patch it if it is. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long year. They've also added a couple new layup packages for both gens. Booker, Embiid, Iverson for small guards might be interesting. Magic will be kind of trash. Jokic will be trash. Levine, John Morant, I can see that more as like a fearless finisher animation. And then a couple of WNBA players. For post players, double throws can be used for post drop steps and hop shots. Switchbacks will be your shimmies and hooks. So going twice in the same direction is how you get your drop steps now, or your hop shots. Going one direction and the other is how you do shimmies and hook shots. Shimmies make sense. Hooks, kind of a different one. Apparently there's a bunch of new signature post shots and hooks to choose from this year. So maybe they'll add a couple of new guys that won't matter, because Kareem will probably still be the meta for hook shots. Apparently we are getting new dribbling. So dribbling in 2K has taken a life of its own and has become sort of a game within a game. Lie, everybody does the same 6 dribble moves. And especially my team, you only give 4 dribble moves out to everybody all year. Ball handlers are going to enjoy comboing up, lies, in 2K23, as the new gesture combos give you even more options for your arsenal. Switchback gestures will now perform dedicated signature double crosses and hezzy cross combo moves that you can assign as part of the moving crossover signature package, which has grown from 15 options to 28. Nobody uses that, doesn't matter. Learning the speed of your stick throws and the timing of your signature animations is especially important. You can chain your players' normal signature size ups. Terrible, nobody does that. If you guys don't remember what that is, it's just the one flick up on the pro stick and he does like that predetermined whatever animation that sucks. Nobody uses it because it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. So apparently you can now do that by rocking the pro stick back and forth. I guess maybe that helps as far as comboing. I still don't love it. Rapid double throws will give you new combos. And flicking the pro stick back and forth repeatedly will give you a whole different set of animations called signature combos that look incredible. That's an important thing to keep in mind. Look incredible. 2K is very much based on if you are 12 years old and playing with your brother in the living room on a TV, right? It's not necessarily built for all 99s. So, look incredible means there's going to be about 3 to 4 moves that actually do what you want them to do as far as creating space, right? Another major dribbling change is the introduction of attacking size-ups. That's interesting. One of the things we wanted to improve with dribbling in 2K was that while the size-up moves looked cool, they weren't useful. Thank you for acknowledging that your shit doesn't work, right? Everybody agreed that that was useless, so that's why it didn't matter what package you put on. The new attacking signature size-up proves a lot more side-to-side movement and are much better at forcing the defense to drop and shift, allowing you to bait them one way and then attack the other. Something all great ball handlers do so well in real life. While that sounds good for Pro-Am, right? In your rec, in your park, and all that stuff, right? Sounds good there. My concern is with playing, if somebody's off-balling you, right? Because that's always been the big debate in this community. Does it actually give you an animation? And then the question is, what animation does it give you? Is it a tight handles thing all over again, and then it's just going to stun the guy regardless? Or is it something where maybe they accidentally shade one way and you're forced to play a different direction, right? Because then that's just funneling somebody to a different spot. While it's fun to clown your opponents with a blurry or flashy dribbles, nobody does that. We don't want to encourage players to dribble out the entire shot clock. They're going to do it anyway, while their teammates fall asleep. Energy will deplete much quicker when spamming too many moves, so it's important to be efficient and not play with your food too long. There's a long list of size-ups to learn on paper, but they're all very simple and feel natural in practice. So, here's what I'm understanding this as, right? They're afraid that you will deplete your stamina by too many moves together, right? So there's still the left-right, right? You do 2 moves, you switch to a screen, you wait, you do 2 moves, you switch back to a screen. Like, that's not necessarily going to take care of that issue, right? As far as I'm understanding. And then they show a Steph dribble move that's literally the same one he's got this year. Adrenaline boost. Another new feature to prevent over-dribbling is the concept of adrenaline boost. There are 3 available boosts per player per possession, shown as 3 small bars under the stamina meter. Unfortunately, they don't give you a good example because they use Lonzo Ball for this. And as somebody pointed out, I believe it was in Splash's stream, Lonzo Ball doesn't have handles for days. So him dribbling in a play-now setting is going to get tired anyway, right? I think that this is more so to prevent aimless dribbling, right? Maybe dribbling with purpose. So maybe the guys that are a little more casual at it aren't just spamming random moves, and maybe looking to actually combo something with a purpose. Hopefully that's the intention. Who knows? Boosts are consumed every time you perform a hard go or explosive sprint launch. What that tells me, stop holding R2 when you dribble. Thank you, Rashawn, for the likes. Stop holding R2 when you dribble, because that's what it makes it sound like, right? It makes it sound like that if you hold R2 and do a move, that's one of your boosts, right? Once your 3 boosts are gone, you'll notice that your speed and acceleration decreases significantly for the remainder of the possession. As with dribbling combos, it's important to play smart basketball and be efficient with your movement rather than zigzagging back and forth aimlessly trying to get around the defense. So, what they're saying is Sim Nation is going to rule the game. What they're trying to say. This development team is very Sim Nation based. I don't know if you guys have known that. It's just how they are, right? They're very much the 2 passes, dribble handoff, 2 passes, set a screen, fucking hit a back cut, like that kind of stuff, right? What this tells me is somebody's going to find the right dribble combo that takes less stamina than everything else, and then all the park people are going to have the same 4 dribble moves like they have every year because this game doesn't allow true variety. They say variety, but then somebody in the community finds out that, hey, these 3 dribble moves put together take way less stamina and get you way more open than anything else, right? So as far as the park guys go, don't worry. Give it 2 weeks and some parkhead will figure out your dribble moves. All right. Quick little water break, and then we're getting to shooting. Make sure y'all leave a like on the stream. So, here we go. More authentic shooting. Shooting also got some nice upgrades in 2K23. Didn't need upgrades. In 2K22, success from outside was heavily weighted toward coverage. It couldn't contest a few jump shots. Luka, MJ. Once people started getting faster, timing coverage didn't matter at all, right? I do agree, though, that I feel like it was weighted a little too much towards coverage because there were times where we got to the point where earlies and lates were just consistent, right? Like people could just smack us slightly early as long as it was open. So I feel like that could be a good improvement. If you could get an open look, you could balance out poor ratings and inaccurate timings. The thing that this tells me right here, based off of that sentence, is they will I'm assuming they're going to raise the threshold for bad shooting numbers. So if you guys remember, we had a couple of cards like, I think we figured it out, maybe not with Wilt, because I don't think Wilt from the Unlimited you could get enough badges on, right? But if you could find a player around like a 65 to 67 3-ball base, right? And you could add a couple of shooting badges, and you could take a couple of shooting badges, you could take that 65, 67 3-ball, you threw on a coach, you threw on a shoe, and the guy could shoot perfectly, right? Or you guys had players like, okay, I'll use one of my examples. I ran Josh Smith at center for 3 months because he had a 73 ball, but with a coach and a shoe and floor general, he was chick, right? It didn't matter. So I think they're trying to maybe increase the bottom threshold for, even if you guys remember that first Dark Matter Shaq we got that had like a 50-something 3-ball that would, he could still shoot consistently if you were the right guy, right? Jay, thank you for the likes. So this year, apparently, they are wanting to have more authentic shooting model that captures the essence of a great NBA player's capabilities. The first major change is the addition of shooting attributes. Since the inception of signature jump shots in 2K basketball, animations have been more or less aesthetic, but functionally the same. I kind of beg to differ because there's different shot speeds and green windows and stuff like that, so I don't necessarily agree with that. This year, each signature jump shot has unique shooting stats that will help determine its effectiveness. Shot speed, already there. Release height, doesn't matter, you can just adjust your uppers. Defense immunity is how effective the shot is against defensive contests. So hopefully that means they patch Luka. Timing impact, adjust shot windows to regard good timing at the cost of increased penalty for bad timing. So just essentially your green window. It's essentially the same thing, they just put it in different, more statistical ways so we can actually see it instead of trying to guess, right? We're also adding a huge number of shot animations to choose from, over double the amount of any previous version, and they're much more capable, or much more accurate to each player's real-life jumper. For my player, shot animations will be gated by shooting ratings, so you'll have to play around with all the options to figure out which works best for your skill set and playing style. We're looking forward to seeing a lot more variety in the community's SIG shot selection with this next evolution of shots. That never happens. It's always, Jay, we haven't quite gotten the badges yet. I think it's in the Mike Wang section. But I don't think 2K understands that YouTube plays an enormous impact as far as what shots are used, right? As soon as the comp guys figure out the 3 fastest shots, that's what they use for the year. They're done. Or you'll have the YouTubers that cater to the casuals and have like just their fun jump shots or the bigger green window jump shots, right? Or maybe the easier to time based on your latency jump shots, right? Them adding a bunch doesn't really mean much because we'll still get narrowed down to like the same 6. And then they'll do their little patches and then we'll just adjust. It's just how it goes. So the next section is shot meters and feedback. There are also 5 new shot meters to choose from, 15 more that can be unlocked through the seasons. So it looks like we are getting seasons back. We are also getting the season passes back, or whatever you want to call it. That made sense because of the XP and the pre-order, right? So it looks like we'll get 5 new ones off of drop, and then 15 more throughout the season. So maybe we'll get like 2 a season or something like that, right? Some big, some small, some above the head, some to the side, some below. So it looks like some of them are like your 2K17 through 2K20 jump shots. You have the one that's the 2K19, like the arch, right, that comes over the side of your head. One straight up and down, which looks really stupid. There's the one back around your feet again for the guys that like that. Doesn't matter to me. This gets shut off day 1, and I just figure out how to shoot. That's just how it goes. So you also notice a subtle change to how shot feedback works this year. We're using shot arcs to help indicate whether you're early or late or on time. So early is going to be a high arc, late is going to be a flat arc, or on time is an ideal arc, which I guess is just going to be between the two. So by paying attention, you can easily tell right away if your release is off. So why not? So does that matter if we have... Okay, so I guess this answers my next question. Also, with shot feedback enabled, we're delaying the timing / coverage overlay and green release animation from coming up until the ball hits the basket. Wow. Okay, it's a small change, but it really brings back some of the drama that the green lights sometimes lacked, and also encourages everyone to continue to play through the possession rather than giving up and getting back in transition early. So, all right, we're going to spend some time on this because now I'm kind of upset. So I guess instead of getting the shot feedback that you guys have over the top, right, that says you're slightly and your percentage, you're going to have to first off guess based off your shot arc. So if you guys did like the step backs in the corner with the stick, and it would have like that really random, like really high shot or the really flat shot or like kind of in between, and it would tell you your shot arc, I guess they're using that, but it doesn't say it above, right? You're just going to have to look at the animation. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to explain it, Jay. Okay, so here's how this works, right? So your player is shooting the shot, right? Normally, like this past year, when you shot the ball, it would say slightly early, 6% covered, right? That's not popping up right away anymore. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to look at your shot and determine if it's a high arc, which is an early, a flat arc if it's a late, or in between is on time, right? So your like green window. Because now you have to wait for the ball to hit the basket for it to physically pop up and tell you, right? So instead of at your release is when it tells you right now, right? In 2K22, if you shoot the ball, it tells you right now based off of your release, right? It's now going to wait until it hits the basket to tell you if it's a green, an early, a late, and the coverage. So you have no idea what you're shooting until it hits the basket. The thing I wonder with that is, are we taking away the green bar above your head then? Because that's the only way that makes sense. Because if it's green, we're going to know based off the bar. Or if we get... The other thing is, does that mean you know how you guys have like the shimmy or whatever on your My Players? I wonder if that doesn't activate now until it goes in. Is the other question I have. Does that now wait to activate until it goes in and then you get your shimmy or your whatever green light animation you have, right? I don't like that at all. I'm not a fan of that at all. Because here's the thing. In my team, I'm still going to leak. I don't care. I have 2 other people. Like, I very rarely manual rebound anyway. So that's not going to matter to me as much. I'm still going to leak. Like, that's just how this game works, right? So yeah, I don't like that at all. That's something I'm not a fan of. All right, next we're going to get into a little bit of playmaking, it looks like. So for playmakers out there, you'll find some new tools at your disposal as well. Lead to the basket. Pass makes its return to next gen. So that is... I don't like that at all. That is your Y or triangle. Right. Yeah, that one. So now if you're playmaking, you can do Y or triangle, do back cuts like you can on current gen. I absolutely hate that because the bot doesn't play it correctly at all. Every time the bot plays it wrong. So the fact that that's in the game is now really stupid. Another alternative to the new spot... I can't read, guys. Another alternative is the new spot up pass mechanic. If you press and hold B/circle, the receiver you're pointing at with the left stick will perform a quick V or flare cut to get open on the perimeter. This is stupid because it never works. Okay, so instead of you guys holding B, if you guys know that's your dribble handoff, right? It looks like they have now switched that so that B is now some sort of like, I guess in Prime you call it a dex, right? Where the guy fakes a cut and comes back to his spot. The thing I have a problem with that is you're relying on your left stick to pick which person does it. Left stick doesn't do that well at all, right? And also it's going to be super obvious because somebody's going to see it and switch onto that guy so that when you release the ball, they just pick it off. Like, I don't love that one at all. I feel like that's a waste, especially if that means that dribble handoff is no longer in the game, because I use dribble handoff a lot to make sure my point guard gets the ball. Whether you prefer to drive the lane, back down defenders in the post, or spot it from behind the arc, NBA 2K23 offers a wide variety of tools that cater to your offensive game plan. That sounds like a lie already. All right. Now, let's get into my part of the court. Defensive gameplay. As always, defense remains a huge priority for the gameplay team. We all know that the offensive upgrades in the world don't matter for a fun game if there are no counters to stop them. So let's talk about some of the great enhancements on the other end of the floor. Shot defense received a nice overhaul. Up until last year, we simply used shot defense calculation that looked at two specific points. I'm really curious to see what these points are. The location of the defender when the shot started and the proximity to the ball at release. Okay, so I guess that makes a little more sense. So when somebody started their shot, if you were farther away and then you went to contest them, but your hand didn't get a good animation, that's why it was open, is what they're claiming, right? That's why they're claiming it's a different shot animation, right? It did not work well. It did have a lot of shortcomings. If the defender's hand or arm moves slightly into a bad position, right at the point of our shot release calculation, you got a bad coverage score even though it looked like a very good contest. That happens all the time. The amount of times I complain that we get a, thank you, Robert, for the likes. That you would be in position, you'd be like, I'm in position, right? And then it would say 6. This year we've created a system that evaluates the defensive player's contest hand throughout a window of the shooting motion. Okay? This larger sample set provides way more accurate results and helps line up the coverage numbers to what players expect based on what they're happening on screen. Okay, so we're still relying on the hand to be in the right spot in the window. Okay? However, we now have a better window so that it actually looks like if you get a 6, it actually looks like a 6% contest. Okay. On-ball defense. For the floor game, on-ball defense, movement, and body ups received a major refresh with new content that more accurately depicts today's one-on-one player interactions. I would hope so. You'll also notice a new indicator on the ball handler when in guarding position. This is the new defensive shading mechanic. The 3 bars on the indicator represent 3 zones: straight up, shade left, shade right. The zone the defender is in, shown in red. If the ball handler attempts to attack a red lane, they will get cut off, lose their dribble, or fumble the ball. So, here's the deal. For at least the first month, expect a lot of losing the ball. Because unless you can get your combo to work correctly, you're going to get a lot of losing your dribble pickup animations that looks like is going to be really bad. Great defenders can anticipate when the ball handler is attacking and now will be more clearly rewarded for it. The shading system works for both on-ball defenders guarding the perimeter as well as the post and does a good job communicating to both the offense and defense. Okay, so you both can see. Okay, so if you're the offensive player, I'll give my full analysis at the end, Robert. I'm kind of just going part by part. So if you're the ball handler, and you have somebody in front of you, underneath that defender, there's going to be 3 different lines. So as the offensive player, if you can see which one they're in, it is your job to switch to a different animation before they can predict your animation, is how I'm understanding it, right? So say the person is shaded to your right, and you go left. If they beat you to the spot, you're getting a pickup dribble. So essentially, it's going to be a guessing game between the two. Personally, I believe NBA Live has something similar to this. If you guys remember, if you guys played NBA Live 19, they had some sort of arrow that if you didn't get it right, it gave them a blow-by animation. That is my biggest concern, right? Is this little bar is going to dictate defense, right? Okay? So if you guys remember the NBA Live 19, it was if you didn't move where the arrow was before the offensive player did, it was an automatic blow-by. If that's the case, I'm again getting 2K18 vibes, and that's going to make me really nervous. Between the slashing and that right there, it sounds like it might be a predetermined animation. Shot blocking. Shot blocking has been refined quite a bit. I would hope so, because that sucked. With NBA 2K22, we made a huge effort to improve block targeting and give the players the ability to deter any shot that came into the paint. That's lies, because mashing was a hell of a drug. For NBA 2K23, blocks have been tuned to a more realistic level. Lies. Leading to much more predictable outcomes, with the right players making appropriate stops when timing their block attempts well. No more small guards pulling off LeBron-level chase-down blocks like last year. Thank God. If you guys did not see the game at launch last year, Ruby Trae Young was a god at chase-downs. Like, the man was LeBron in his prime. It was nuts. I don't remember if I streamed that, but it was like every animation. He got every single chase-down. Was insane. You also notice a distinct improvement in ball security for good dunkers. Okay, so the question with that is... Oh, wait, hold on. I think to actually address it. In the past, it was always risky to pull off tomahawks and back scratchers with defenders even remotely nearby. We've made some changes to encourage good dunkers to use a greater repertoire of dunk packages. Feel rewarded for highlight reel dunks with significant takeover boosts in the right situation without fear of always getting the ball knocked out on the way up. The shot blocking system also now contains flyby blocks when closing out late on perimeter shooters. The flybys will do a better job trying to get a hand up while preventing the defender from slamming into the shooter and sending them to the line. All right, we all need to send a round of applause to 2K. Because I'm so sick and tired of jumping for a contest. Because if you don't jump for a contest, it's a 6. But if you jump, it's a foul. So apparently this is going to fix that problem. Right? Okay. Let's talk about that. The next thing I want to talk about. The reward of highlight reel dunks with significant takeover boosts. This is essentially, if you guys remember, 2 years ago, current gen, right? 2K21 current gen. We had, what was it, Showtime? That's basically what this is. That's essentially what this is. So, with that, I'm hoping there's a couple of things with this, right? Is you don't get blocked going up for the dunk as much anymore, because that was stupid. Missed dunks, gotta go. Hoping that's what this covers too. The takeover boost concerns me a little bit, because that makes me feel like it's going to be 21 current gen again. And I hope flyby blocks works, but isn't overpowered. I want there to be a skill gap to contest, right? I don't want it to be where you can just jump at everything and it's an automatic 90%, right? I want it to be where you have to jump in the window, the correct window, and it's not a foul. That's what I care about, right? Okay. Steals and ball strips. Ball strips are new and improved this year with tons of new content and better coverage. So if you're a smaller defender, quick hands can be just as effective in slowing down slashers and bigs in the paint as a good shot blocker. We've also added failed strip contact layups to make sure the defender's steal inputs are respected instead of getting ignored. Again, thank you, 2K, because what would happen is every time you drove, they would either jump for a block and get a block, or they would just spam X or square, and it would be an automatic steal, right? Because you didn't have to time anything. You would either get the foul, or you would get a guaranteed animation. So now, if they time it wrong, you can get a acrobatic layup or whatever for it to go in. Okay? When the ball does get knocked loose by a blocker or steal, if that random stuff happens, you're going to be pissed. You'll see greatly improved sideline awareness during scramble plays. I've heard AI awareness for years. I don't believe it. Pickups near the out-of-bounds line are much more reliable, as are diving ball saves that throw the ball back in play. Seen some amazing 50-50 ball saves that would make Dennis Rodman and Alex Caruso proud. Appreciate you shouting out some bulls right there. I appreciate it, Mike. Big fan of that right there. All right. Now, let's get into the fun stuff, okay? Badges, builds, and takeovers. One of the first things everyone does is experiment building a new My Player. This year, the major goal of the player builder was refinement, polish, and balance. So that means there's going to be a glitch within the first 2 months. You'll still have complete control to build any type of player you want, but the new builder ensures that all builds, regardless of size or specialty, are fun and balanced. The 5v5 environment used last year to test work-in-progress player builds is also now accompanied by a 3v3 environment. Okay, so that was the... What did they call that stupid thing? The My Player Builder or whatever? So I guess now instead of just the 5v5, you also have a 3v3 for you guys that are parkheads and don't touch rec at all. For new gen players, this is especially useful if you love to hoop on city courts and want to make sure the player can hang in the streets. Like I just said, thank you. Another huge addition to the build system is that animation purchases will now be account bound rather than specific to one save file. Let's go. That means that, okay, that means two things. So let's start with these two things, right? First thing, there's going to be an animation glitch so that you're 7 foot and you can get point guard jumpers. I'm telling you guys that right now. That's how that system works. But it also means you don't have to buy your stupid size ups and all of that for every player you make, right? So if you are just a point guard and you make 4 different point guards, you have all the animations, right? You don't have to sit there and continually purchase animations. That is a W. However, it's going to get glitched. I'm telling you guys right now, be prepared to see a 7-3 by December that has Trae Young base. I'm just telling you right now. It's just how it goes. Okay? So in other words, if you purchase an animation for your play shot build, it will then be usable to equip on your slasher builds, assuming your player meets all the animation requirements. That doesn't work. For current gen users, you're no longer limited by the pie chart building system. From the last couple of years, it has been replaced with a more robust player builder that next gen uses. So, I'm assuming this is what happens, right? If you guys aren't current gen, you do the My Player. You are going to get probably this year's edition of the builder just slightly tweaked, right? Whereas I think next gen will probably get more of an overhaul because that's just typically how 2K does this. All right, new gen badge system. Let's talk about this because I am a new gen player primarily. Sorry, running out of breath here. The most impactful change when it comes to building players is in the form of a new badge system for new gen. Thank you, Jesus. When looking at telemetry from previous years, we've noticed that players often gravitate towards the same badges and as a result became a little overpowered by stacking certain badges together. Well, duh, we're just going to pick the best badges. We're not going to use your stupid slippery off ball. This year we're moving to a tiered badge system. There are now 16 badges per attribute category, 8 in Tier 1, 4 in Tier 2, 4 in Tier 3. Tier 1 badges are the least powerful for your player, but also cost the least amount of badge points. Cost as you climb the tiers and acquire more impactful badges. The basic idea is that you'll need to equip a certain number of badges in the lower tiers before you can equip badges in the highest. Okay. So, this means there's going to have to be like 6 badges in these lower tiers that everybody's going to use, right? Because somebody's going to find the quickest path to get to the highest tier, right? That's just what this community does. So, there's also going to be a bunch of useless badges that still don't get used. Like, it's just how the game works. I understand you're trying to make a sim basketball game, but at the end of the day, the competitive people are going to look for the badges that work and are going to stick to those badges, right? It's just how it works. Like, everybody knew that Blinders was an important badge. Everybody knew that Circus 3s was an important badge. Everybody knew that Sniper was an important badge. Everybody prioritized those, and everything else got left on the dirt, right? Nobody wanted your slippery off-balls or your, there was a lot of useless badges I didn't use. I don't even know the names. The motive behind this change was to encourage players to make some tough choices when creating their badge recipes. Whatever. More loadouts, more valuable as a feature, and bring a better overall balance to the badge game in general. Lies. Along with the tiers, we're also introducing core badges, which are 4 unique badge slots, 1 in each attribute category. They will be filled with badges that don't count towards your badge points. Each badge will have a challenge requirement that once met will allow you to place the badge into a core badge slot. We've also made several changes to the badges themselves. So, as far as the core badges, right? Let's talk about that real quick. That is essentially going to be, if you guys played Next Gen, it is going to be your ones that got the Berkeley workout, right? Wait, so I don't get to... No, so, okay. So how to work is I'm assuming it's still bronze, silver, gold Hall of Fame, right? They changed it up, though. Instead of having every badge as an option right away. You have like your core badges. So say like, I'm just going to put random badges in here. So say like free throw ace, slippery off ball, and downhill or something. I don't know. Throwing random badges out here, right? So you have to equip a certain amount of those badges at bronze or whatever in order to move up to the next tier. That's like your catch and shoot, blinders, that stuff, right? Then you have to equip a certain amount of those to get to tier 3, which is your like circus threes, mismatch expert, all that stuff, right? So you have to use a certain amount of the random badges to get to slightly better badges to get to the good badges, right? Or at least in 2K's eyes, the good badges. Who knows? Maybe they'll put a bunch of random stuff up there. It doesn't matter. But you have to have a certain amount of each badge in order to move up a tier, right? So it's kind of like if you guys have played like free world games where you have to, like you have the web of unlockables, right? You have to unlock one thing in order to get to the next thing, in order to get to the next thing, and you're progressively getting better. It's that sort of system. Okay, so here is, it looks like badges that are staying / got edited or got removed. So finishing. Slithery Finisher is still here. Makes it easier to gather through traffic, avoiding collisions and strips. Still a thing. Hasn't changed. Masher. Great. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Increases ability to finish inside layups over defenders. So Yao Ming will have that on Hall of Fame right away. Let's just go ahead and get that out the way. Aerial Wizard. I like the name of it. Ability to successfully complete alley-oops or putbacks. That's just Lob City Finisher and Putback Boss put together. That's all that is. They took Lob City Finisher, they took Putback Boss, and they go, here, new name. Okay. Bully. Like, I don't even want to tell you guys the description for this. I'm not going to lie to you. This is so bad. Okay. Alright. Guys, it might be 2K18. I'm not going to lie. Here's the description for Bully. Like Giannis and LeBron, able to finish strong by bulldozing through traffic. You know what that means? It means people are just going to equip Bully and just go. That's all it's going to be. They're going to hold R2, and they're going to put their left stick forward, and they're going to go. That's all it is. That's all Bully's going to be, is right stick, forward, go. That's all it's going to be. That's the entire thing. They did remove Hook Specialist. Yay. I mean, who equipped that on purpose other than post scores? I don't care. Post scores cry. Okay. Agent 3. Ability to hit difficult three-point shots off the dribble. That's just Circus 3s, right? Am I going crazy? That's just Circus 3s. Mini Magician. Improved ability to knock down mid-range jumpers off the bounce or out of the post like MJ. That's just difficult shots. Amped reduces the shooting attribute penalties when fatigued and when moving excessively prior to shooting. Everybody's going to use Amped. I'm telling you that right now. That's just Tyler Shooter from 2 years ago. Claymore. Increases a spot-up shooter's ability to knock down catch-and-shoot jumpers the longer they remain stationary prior to shooting. That's just set Shooter. Comeback Kid is improved ability to shoot perimeter jumpers when trailing in a game. Okay, so the question I have for that one is at what point in the game does that activate, right? Is that you're down 2-0 and it activates? Is it you have to wait until the fourth quarter like Clutch Shooter or second half like Clutch Shooter, then it activates? Hand down, man down. Make an outside shooter even deadlier if opponents fail to get a hand up in their face. That's just Deadeye. Space Creator, formerly a playmaking badge. It now boosts the ability to hit step-back jumpers and hop shots. It will also cause defenders to stumble more often. So they took what Space Creator is as a playmaking badge and moved it to a shooting badge. Limitless Range, making shooters more effective with any shot attempt from deep three-point range. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. They now took out the whole having to have Chef and Limitless Spot Up as 2 separate badges, which we all said was stupid. They put it back to 1. Thank you, Chica. Okay. Removed badges. Chef, obviously, it's in Limitless Range. Hot Zone Hunter is an interesting one because I think that was part of the reason lower 3 balls could shoot, right? You had Hot Zone Hunter, corner specialist, catch and shoot. You were good. So that's an interesting one. Lucky 7 got taken out, which is tough because Lucky 7 was probably my 3rd favorite badge this year. No, I gotta lie to you. I love Lucky 7. Mismatch Expert got moved to Playmaking, which is interesting. Set Shooter, obviously, is Claymore now. Sniper is gone, people. Sniper is gone. Let's all give 2K a round of applause. Sniper is no more. Because you had Flexible Release and then you had Sniper. You just catered. Limitless Spot Up is gone because it's part of Limitless Range. All right, Sniper is gone. That's really, really important. Playmaking now. Killer Combos improves a dribbler's effectiveness with size-up dribble moves. So this is basically quick chain and tight handles put together. Big fan of that because I actually use quick chain a lot. I didn't use tight handles as much. Clamp Breaker helps ball handlers win more 1v1 body confrontations. Okay, so we are now going back to there are specific badges to counter other badges, is what it sounds like. So Clamp Breaker is the counter to clamps. What was that? 2K19? I don't think it'll be the exact same. But I think it'll be very similar that based on the tier and other badges and stuff, it'll essentially negate, right? Vice Grip improves ball security immediately after securing a rebound catch or picking up the ball. That's essentially a big man badge, so that's not going to be anything too crazy. Mismatch Expert, formerly a shooting badge. This badge now helps smaller guards break down taller defenders when mismatched one-on-one. So maybe that means you can actually buy a tall guy as a short guy now. Maybe they won't have the same speed as you. Remove badges. There is no more Bullet Passer. Thank you. Downhill's gone. That's kind of tough because especially on like my locks and stuff, I like that one. Glue Hands is gone. We don't need a badge to catch the ball, guys. We don't need a badge to catch the ball. Okay. Stop and Go's gone too. Interesting. I didn't really use that one as much. A lot of point guards I know did use that one. They liked it. Okay, defensively. So, first one is Anchor, a crucial badge for last line of defensive bigs, improving ability to block and contest shots. That's just paint intimidator, basically. Basically just intimidator, but in the paint. Box Out Beast helps rebounders win box out battles, both offensively and defensively. So that is essentially just box. Workhorse, the Pat Bev badge that boosts your ability to hustle down 50-50 balls and play hard-nosed defense without getting tired. So they took Hustler and they took Tireless Defender and put it into a badge. I will be using that badge probably immediately. Glove, named after the legendary defender Gary Payton, helps you strip players as they gather for shots and poke the ball free from ball handlers. So that's essentially Pickpocket and Ball Stripper. I will have that one on too. Challenger improves the effectiveness of perimeter shot contests. Okay, so they took Intimidator and split it into two separate badges this year, right? So Anchor will be your paint Intimidator, and Challenger will be your perimeter Intimidator. Okay. Remove badges as defensive leader. Interesting. So it seems like they don't... So they didn't take out Floor General, but they took out defensive leader. Interesting. Okay. Team Takeover Redesign. Takeovers are special abilities that you can equip on your My Player that you can activate after building up your takeover meters. Basically, like getting hot in real life. While the primary and secondary takeovers remain the same, Team Takeover has been redesigned. Okay. The last couple of versions, a player would activate Team Takeover for the entire team, make everybody hot after filling up primary, secondary, and then Team Takeover meters in sequential order. For 2K23, Team Takeover works as a cooperative team system with the entire team sharing a single meter. Each player on the team has an equal portion they are responsible for filling up by performing well in the court and being good teammates. Once each player has filled up their portion of the meter, Team Takeover automatically fires for the entire team. The new design makes a lot more sense and does a better job representing what it means to be hot as a team and take over the game as a unit. Okay. I don't like this, right? Because here's the problem with that as far as a rec/pro-am setting, right? So let's say you go in and you have 3 or 4 friends that you go into with the rec, right? And you have one random on your team, doesn't necessarily communicate well, isn't contributing, you're never going to get team take, right? Everybody's going to have to get their own takeovers and go with it that way. The other thing is, if you play pro-am, it's normally your center that gets team take, right? Because they're the one getting rebounds, they're the one contesting shots in the paint, they're the one getting assists on fast breaks. It's normally your center, right? Your shooting guard might get it because he's a spot up and he's shooting, or maybe he's playing on ball, something like that. Your point guard might get it because he's assisting, he's shooting, maybe an occasional strip, something like that, lane steal, something like that, right? The thing that concerns me is your small forward and your power forward typically just sit in the corner on both ends of the floor, right? Or maybe one plays on-ball defense. But there's always that one guy, if you're playing Pro-Am, that doesn't do much other than be a shooter, right? So if that's the case, that means you're never getting team takeover. Because now they know that everybody has to contribute to the team takeover. I don't like that at all, personally. I understand maybe reworking it so that it wasn't so center-based, but I don't like that everybody has to contribute, right? I understand why, but I just don't like it. Alright, so now we're going to talk about AI gameplay. Woohoo! 2K23 was packed with AI goodness on both ends of the floor for new-gen consoles. Here are some of the highlights that the AI engineers and the enemy of anybody that plays this game, Da Cesar, have cooked up for you. If you guys don't know, he is Captain Sim Nation. It is why the AI doesn't work half the time, because he claims that we are breaking the game when we play the way we play. Alright, so offensive improvements. Okay, so apparently the AI is getting more useful dribble moves. Make it more aggressive in setting up its offense. It's now going to understand better defensive positioning. So, if you guys remember how the quickest way to get through Dom was to go up by a bunch, sit in a 2-3 zone, and flop because the bot would run a play every time, right? It seems like the bot is now going to understand that you're doing that and actually try and attack and actually score, which will work because then maybe it'll speed up the game and you can get it done faster. So apparently they had to mix up the timing of AI's drive attempts. Prefer the earliest attack opening, or what we call first move attack priority. Thank God. So that means the bot won't take the entire possession to shoot the ball. Counterparts, we built a brand new signature AI attack system that allows us to assign all of the stars a dynamic signature package. So if you guys play Giannis day one, he's going to just mow through you. Between the legs cross. Okay, nobody cares. The new majority impact. Oh, so they're actually going to understand how to run a pick and roll. And can vary their roll path, so the bot will now keep the spacing relationship with the AI ball handler. It doesn't say with everybody else on the court. It says with the AI ball handler. Keep that in mind. And can vary their roll path to the rim. I swear to God, if I see the bot roll into 3 people again, I'm going to cry. Okay, so apparently they understand better as far as the openness window, as far as making the pass. Okay. Dynamic game plans give us the flexibility in how AI chooses their scheme. So, coaching strategy, or whatever you want to call it, coaching game plan is back. Instead of predetermined between a team's top scorers. Pre-game matchup evaluations, adding more weights to the player with the better matchup, blah, blah, blah. Okay, last year we built and rewrote almost all of the major defensive systems. This year was about refining them to deliver our best effort to date. Every phase of our defensive game has improved. From transition defense, where we can identify when the ball handler has been picked up, allowing the anchor to leave the paint to give their man. Okay. They are supposedly fixing no threes, per the blog. Keep that in mind, so when it doesn't work in 2 months, we can say they said they were fixing it. Okay? They said they're making the no three setting work, which, thank you, Jesus. Because if you guys didn't know, it doesn't work this year at all. Rotations are sharper and more varied. Pick and roll defense is tighter and smarter. So you can't just spam pick and rolls against the bot, supposedly. We'll see. Let's see. Players can choose to turn off drive and pick and roll. We've been doing that for 3 years now. We've also improved cutter help individually, as well as more controlled. Okay, more control over their defensive focus settings. Okay, so hopefully that actually works this year, and you can't just get back cut every time. Okay, also performance-based. Oh, no. In the past, we know how many points. No, don't tell me that's back still. So, essentially, adaptive coaching is back. Apparently, you can turn it off, but it will default to on. So, if you guys play my team, shut it off. The bot does not rotate correctly. No matter what they say, the bot does not rotate correctly. I don't know what to tell you guys. The AI is stingier when helping, when sending help, until we know the opponent can actually take advantage. So at the beginning of games, you may notice dramatically less help as your teammates wait to see if your opponent can actually take advantage of an open lane compared to last year. Of course, you're free to turn off auto adjustments and make your team help right off the jump. I don't want you to help at all, period. Stay still. So apparently the whole corners dropping thing apparently is going to be reduced. Okay? And then they just do closing remarks. Now, so that was the blog. The next thing we're going to get into is we're going to go through Mike Wang's Twitter. So, because he's the one that does the blog, and then also he just tends to have the more... He responds to the community for a month or so as far as different gameplays and things like that, right? So we'll start with this. Most, if not all, of the returning badges have been retuned or reworked in some way. If something was OP in 22, don't assume it will be again in 2K23. Also, some of the weaker badges were buffed. So I'm assuming maybe this is like a Blinders nerf, maybe a Deadeye nerf, something like that. And then he just confirms that Claymore is set shooter. Asking this, designing videos, okay. What happened to Mismatch Expert is now playmaking for handlers to blow by taller defenders. So blow-bys are a thing. Okay, I want to see this one really quick. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Dunk Force, you won't get the dunk meter ever with the shot button. You will only get it when you use down, down, or up, down on the Pro Stick. So like I was referring to earlier, where's my controller? So the only time you get dunk meter this year is if you go down, down, or up, or up, down, or down, up, right? If you do any of those to do your dunk, if you just hold it one way, you'll get the current gen thing of where you just dunk the ball, okay? It was intentional last year that you'd get the meter when holding the stick down when dunking. That's gone. Okay, so the random X button dunk meters that we used to get, that is gone. Apparently it was because we were holding down our left stick or something like that, is what he says. I think it's stupid, but that's what he says. Real player percentage will not be a valid option for online games. So you real player percentage made bums are done. Done. Finito. The round meter is still used for alley-oops, but it's bigger and easier to read. Okay, so you still have to time when somebody throws you a lob, you still have to time that. Okay, that is still a thing. Yes, dunking controls are the same. Okay, so current gen and next gen have the same dunking controls we were talking about earlier. Okay, we don't care about that. For dribble moves, quickly flick the right stick, let it go back to the center. For shots, flick right stick, let it go back to center. Then quickly move and hold it. You can either double throw in the same direction twice or one way and then get the opposite. Hopefully there's an easier way to know if you're dribbling or shooting. We've made some changes to layup timing. It still takes skill to be good with, but if you can master it, you can make some really tough layups that you would miss with it off. Okay, so layup timing you can still shut off. You won't blow wide open bunnies anymore, even if your timing is bad. Okay, so they took a little bit of the openness thing from shooting and moved it over to layups. Swish Paul Pierce, that's the point guard card, right? Personally, no. I don't like his jumper, don't like his dribble moves. J.R. Smith, Luka, MJ, anybody like that. Okay. Trust me, locks are solid. Maybe even a little too strong right now. We're still fine-tuning, and we'll make sure we balance the builds the best we can. So locks are going to be a little bit broken at the start of the year like they were last year. The AI team has worked on improving AI defensive rotation. We already talked about that. Okay, so full court heaves are back. So randomly shooting a full court is back in the game. Yeah, Paul George at point guard. Just this time of the year is not it. I hate to break it to you. I would go with Luka if you're on next gen. If you're not, go Jordan. Go J.R. Smith. Even Ben Simmons if you're comfortable with having your shooting guard handle the ball. Don't go Tracy McGrady because his behind the back sucks. Maybe even point guard Kawhi I don't think is terrible. So Intimidator is gone, and then they switched it to badges, so it is actually gone. Okay, driving dunk rating dictates how easy it is to block dunk attempts. Flashy dunks boost your takeover meter faster than basic ones. Back scratchers, windmills, tomahawks, and other flashies are much harder to block in general. Core dribbling is still intact. They added the new dribbling features. So shot fatigue is still in the game. Your shot rating gets hit the lower your energy or stamina is. No meter option will give you slightly larger shot windows that make it easier to green if you know your shot well. Okay, so it's still the same. You still get a boost for having your meter off, and shot fatigue for over dribbling is still in the game. Let's see. Hard to answers, a lot of factors. But if you're really good at timing your shot, are open, have the right badges, you can be serviceable, but you won't be. Okay. So it looks like they're trying to find a happy middle between this year and last year. Because the guy asked, will you be able to shoot consistently with a 70 or under 3 ball? A lot of factors, obviously, but if you're really good at timing your shot, are open, have the right badges, you can be serviceable, won't be raining like last year. So I think we'll probably have to go to like an 80 or something like that, right? So every time I go up with a back scratcher, it gets blocked. That is now fixed. SIG jumpers have attributes and rating requirements. Make sure to check available jumpers with the test build feature to make sure you can get the shot you want before locking it in. So now Steph is like a smalls only, and you have to have a midi and 3 ball of 96. And then he also goes into having release height, release speed, timing impact, and defensive immunity. I'm not going to go over the whole chart because it's a giant chart. He does have it on his Twitter, and it'll let you know as far as what height you have to be. So if you're under 6'5", you get smalls. If you're between 6'5" and 6'9", you get swings, and then 6'10 plus is bigs. It looks like Al Horford is chic for whatever reason. The release height sucks, but the speed is goated. The custom shot you will create will generate attributes and shot rating requirements based on the components you use to build your shot. Okay, so let's see here. I wonder, does that mean... Okay, so I guess the question is, does this mean that for your hands you have to meet the player's ratings? For example, your 6'10" using Al base, but want Steph hands. Okay, we're going to try that. I don't think he'll respond, but that is the question I now have. Does that limit your hands as well? I don't think so, because that'd be a really stupid thing to have that base off of, but you never know with 2K. Both mid-range and 3-pointers be needed. Okay, so either one. So if you have like a 96 midi and a 53 ball, you can still get Steph. Okay, tight handles is both. Turning off your shot meter will increase your shot window. Still the way to go if you know your shot, so that doesn't matter. Double takeovers are on current gen. So for you guys that only had one, now since you guys are going to the next gen build system, you will now have 2 takeovers again. Bullet passer's gone. Passing speed is now tied to your pass accuracy rating. So somebody will figure out the minimum for that for the guards and corners and stuff like that. It's time for CR, but working on adding a new controller setting to let you customize where your ideal release point is in your shots. Early near takeoff, or still working out the kinks. Courtside report. Okay. So didn't make it in time for the courtside report, but working on adding a new controller setting that lets you customize where your ideal release point is in your shots. Early near takeoff or late. I'm not sure what that means. We're gonna wait on that one. Okay, a lot of signature jump shots have been changed. And then he goes into the blog. Okay, so that is going to be it. All right, let me take a drink here and we'll get into my closing thoughts. All right. A couple of things. I am nervous how much they emphasize slashers, along with a couple of slasher animations. The bully badge concerns me a lot. I think that's going to be broken to start the game. I'm letting you guys know now, there's going to be a jump shot glitch. There's going to be an animation glitch. Because of the fact that you can buy everything and it stays with your players. It transfers between players. They have to meet requirements, but they're not going to have to. Jump shots will be the same thing because you'll have them equipped. You can be able to switch them. So I think that'll be broken as well. I don't know at what point in the year we'll get to that, but it will be a thing. It will happen. It's just how this game works. But yeah, other than that, I'm excited for the new year. I'm glad that stupid badges are gone, right? Bullet Passer's gone. Glue Hands is gone. Like a lot of badges that we just didn't need in the game are gone, right? Interest to see how, I think the Hot Zone Hunter removal was for lower 3 balls more so than the higher 3 balls. Because I think that was really helping as far as that combined with Sniper was really helping full bars go in, as well as early and lates. But yeah, I'm really curious for the year. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Twitter or in the comment section of these videos. As we get more information, I'll try and do more live streams because it's easier than me trying to break it down in a 3-minute video. But yeah, appreciate you all coming through. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.